Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Hi. Hey, Stacy, Laura, and Amelia so far. Happy Sunday. I know this is not normal, like my normal live day. I don't even know, how many will be here because it's Sunday, but I have to finish something. So I figured I'd do a live because it's something I've already done a video on. So that's what we're doing. Hey, Hillary. Things She Makes Shop is watching on YouTube. Hi. And then Robert is watching from Nebraska on Facebook. So very, very happy to see you guys. You can tell I'm literally still in my church clothes. I don't even care. You know, as far as it goes with changing, I know some people want to change as soon as they get home. I'm lazy. I like this dress, so I'm going to keep wearing it. So don't forget to say hello. Maybe you're watching during lunchtime. That's fine by me. We are just going to do a fun casual live. So definitely ask questions as you think of them. And it's something that I have done a video on before. So you can definitely reference back the video. You can ask questions on this as well. So we are going to be engraving a hammer today. So you can see this is a fairly large hammer. This is actually a framing hammer. So you may recognize crafts like this, projects like this. They're very, very popular around Father's Day. When it comes to being a dad, you nailed it, that sort of thing. I, as some of you may know, work a full-time job outside of this in local government. I'm social media coordinator for a county, and my director is retiring. So the team is putting together some gifts for him. This is going to be one of them. I don't even think he knows my social media, so I think it's safe to make this on a live. He won't know. He's getting it tomorrow, so whatever. But we're going to be engraving a hammer. So let me know in the comments, have you tried engraving a hammer before? What's your status on that? Where are we with this? I've done a handful. I think it's a fun project. I think the hammer thing is also a little saturated. I don't know if it's maybe because I've been in this craft world starting with vinyl for so many years that when I see the hammers every year at Father's Day, I'm kind of oh, here we are again. This is what we're doing. So, it's kind of when you see it for so many years, I personally am okay, no more hammers. But then what else do you do? So we're going to be doing this. Let me know if you've done it before. But it's a lot of fun. I will say finding a hammer that works for this is very difficult. If you go to the hardware store, a lot of them will have some sort of print on here already. I have found that Harbor Freight is where I can get hammers without that stuff on there. So definitely check that out. Harbor Freight, I normally get a smaller one. This is a framing hammer, but I don't know what types of hammers there are. I get a smaller one. So I'll go ahead and get started with my design. I'm going to kind of work through some sections with it and kind of show you how I make my font work for this. So let's go ahead and bring my Silhouette Studio in here. So let's zoom in. So you can see we are going to have this say, when it comes to a career in public service, you nailed it. Let me kind of use this little hand to move this over right here. So, our director's been in public service for his entire career. And so we are kind of going with that angle with the hammer. So you can see I am using a font called Adrift Bold. Adrift is a font that I have online. I'm going to link it in the comments for you after the fact. I forgot to put it before our live, but you can go and grab it. It's a font family, so there's a bunch of different types of it. And you can see we have this right here. So I am overall happy with this, except for one little thing right here. This font, I like, for the most part, the minimalist look, but at the same time, I don't. So sometimes the minimalist look will do punctuation that's way too small, in my opinion. So we're going to do a small adjustment to this font. So when we talk about designing, many times I mention that designing in Silhouette Studio, or when you're doing vector designing, you have fonts and then you have lines, you have paths. So this right here is a font. There's a couple ways that you can tell that it's a font. The first, right off the bat, you can see that the bounding box around it is way larger than the font. And that's because it's hugging the text box when you edit it, not the actual font itself. The next way that you can tell is if you double click. If you double click and you get a flashing cursor in a green box, that is the text edit mode. So that means that you are working with a font. So we want to say, hey, we don't need to do any more changes. We don't need to change the font. All that's good. So we want to actually change like the shapes in it. So I'm going to take my words, my text. I'm going to right click and convert to path. Now don't forget, path lines, we're changing it from text to lines. So convert to path. So immediately you can see that that box has, oops, I zoomed out, has gotten smaller. Now it's actually tight to the object, the text. And so I want to adjust this comma. So right now, when you think of letters and words, what essentially, when you boil it down, are words. Words are groups of letters. So when you take text and you convert it from text to objects, then words, groups of letters, then become groups of shapes when you convert it to path. So all that to say, now I'm going to right click and I'm going to ungroup. So you can see there's boxes around each one because I've ungrouped all of this. So now we can zoom in more and hit this comma. So I want to just make this larger. I'm going to scale it proportionately and in the same place. So the way that we do that is we hold down the Alt button and our mouse will change to a plus sign when you hover over it. So Alt, if you guys follow me a lot, will create a copy, but it also will allow you to take your object and resize it right in the same spot that it's in. So let me hold down Alt, click this corner, and check that out. See how it's getting bigger, but it stays in the same spot? As opposed to, I'm going to hit Control Z, as opposed to doing this, it goes like that. You see that? So we're going to resize it in the same spot. That's a little bit large. And I'm going to kind of use my arrow to nudge it down a little bit. So, you know, we could have done the other way where we just pull the corner, but I just wanted to show you how to resize it like that. So move that over a little bit and then zoom out. So you can see, like, now it's obvious that there's a comma here. Like, my issue before was that it looked like a period. Okay, so before I move on, does anyone have any questions or any opinions or thoughts, or would like to share what kind of projects they're working on? Like, the world is your oyster. We have so much time right now. I'm just sipping my coffee. This is my afternoon coffee time. Okay, so since we're all good there, I'm going to take my entire design, right click, and group it. Okay, so now we have it all together and we're ready to break this down and put it into Glowforge. So we're going to go to File, Save Selection, and Save to Hard Drive. So you're just going to choose SVG, and I'm going to go to my desktop again. You can see here all the things for my lives that I need to file, but we're going to do hammer and go from there. So let me jump over and switch my share screen to, hold on, I got to switch my screen to Glowforge. So give me 1 second while I do that. You guys know that I work in a small space and I just make things work. So we're just going to go from there. All right, so let's share this right here. And that's our Glowforge screen. I am going to take this off for a moment because I'm going to show you how I set up my Glowforge. Because if you look at my hammer, this is clearly more than a 1/2 inch thick. So that means we cannot use our crumb tray in this. So let's go over here. Let me turn my microphone so you can hear me. And I mean, are you guys doing okay? You guys are really quiet today. I don't know if it's just because it's Sunday, you know, the Lord's Day. But you guys are normally way more chatty. So let me bring this down like this so you can see it better. And I'll even bring my microphone more on this end so you can get a better sound quality from me. So we're going to take our crumb tray out. And so whenever we do engraving, the top of our item has to be at least 1.5 inches from the bottom of the machine and no more than 2 inches. If I were to place this in right now, I don't think it would be 1.5 inches tall. So we're going to start propping it up. I think, let me get my boards. Here are my 2 trusty boards I got from the Target dollar spot years ago that almost always prop it up high enough. I think that I can probably prop it on just one. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to put this in here. Oh, wait, the hammer part's heavy, so we're going to kind of rest it like that. And this kind of goes at a curve. So we're going to see if we need to adjust this as we go. So I'm going to get it as straight as I can. And let's close this and see how it goes. Okay, so let me pop over. I'm going to move my microphone to come to the computer with me so you can still hear me. Are you guys still there? You guys are so quiet today. There we go. That's a better angle. Okay, so that's our hammer. I'll keep that over there. And then I'm going to add Glowforge to the stream. So let's go ahead and upload our design. So it will be on my desktop. And let me grab that. Okay, so our design is processing. Hey, Deb. And you can see it came in ungrouped still. The reason you can tell is that we have boxes around each individual one. I'm just going to very quickly right click and group. This design is big. That's fine. We're going to adjust as we go. So like always, we're going to hit our 3 dots, set focus, and hit the middle here. Hi, L'Oreal in Houston, Texas. So now we're going to set the focus. As we're doing that, I can go ahead and turn on my engrave settings for the hammer. I don't have I do have a hammer setting. So I'm doing 1,000 full power. I've noticed as I do that, it does go in pretty far. So I'm actually going to kind of, I'm going to change to a different one. So I'm going to do what I have called charcuterie small. I don't know why I named it that, but that is going to be 1,060 power. So we have our, there we go, hammer resized. Let's kind of go right there and let's zoom in, see what we're working with. This gets a little bit tricky because we have the hammer itself is shiny, so we're getting the reflection of everything. So I'm just kind of bringing it in like this and setting it like that. So I am going to set up my design to kind of go in the middle, and I'm using the top part of it to guide me because that's kind of like the most straight part. Yeah, that part's the most straight part because this comes out for you to use as the handle. So I'm pretty good with that. The next challenge we're going to have is seeing if our height is correct with this. Glowforge won't run if the height is wrong. So let's go ahead and hit print and see if it processes. So if this is not high enough, it'll say print canceled. So it's still going. Yeah, so that works. So let me go through, turn on my inline fan, and I'm going to start that and let you guys see how this goes. So let me run over, take that out of the stream, and hold on 1 second. We're going to move microphones again. Let's turn on my inline fan, and let's see how this goes. This should work. I've done hammers many times before. This was something that was provided to me, so hopefully it works. Okay, so far so good. Since this is long text, it's going to go back and forth like this. I think it's going to be fine. The hammer itself is kind of curved, so if you're really picky, you're not going to like it. But the cool thing about gifts is that they're a gift. So they didn't even know it was coming. So you can't really complain, you know? So you can see it looks really good. I'm going to move the webcam and get closer. So if you get motion sick, I'm sorry. Deb, first time seeing me live? Yeah, I don't normally go live on the weekends. I try to go during weeknights, but I had to finish this today. So this is what we're doing. So let's see. So I'm bringing that closer. Bringing a nice dark look with this. And then Deb's in Northwest Kansas. Kansas does Kansas have corn? I'm all about the corn song on TikTok Reels right now, so I almost sang it for you. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's kind of put this back right here. And while this is going, do you guys have any questions or comments or things that you want to know? Not just about this, but about anything else. Irene, I tell everyone watch your lives. That is so nice. Thank you so much. Let me show you some stuff while this is going that I got recently. I'll put the camera back on me because I think you guys have watched it enough, right? So let's move my microphone. 1 second. We're just moving everything over so we can get a better view. Okay. So we're going from here, and then let me actually lift this up a little bit too. Sorry. Okay. That's me. Okay, so I just kicked the crumb tray. I got these from Hobby Lobby recently. So if you followed me a couple years ago, I did these really cute mini charcuterie boards. They're great for like parties if you have individual things. They're great little name like place cards. The picture on here is a good example of what you can do with it. Just like a mini charcuterie board for a party. But they also have a circle one this time with the string. So I think this looks really cute. You can do decoration in the kitchen. So I'll probably do this in a live soon. I also have a ton of Target stuff that like I bought in previous seasons and never used. I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but that's me. So I have this. I'm really excited. I just got it's in the other room, so I can't get it. I just got a ton of stuff from Target Dollar Spot earlier this week. They have a bunch of good fall stuff where I live now. They also have Halloween. So like I like making Halloween costumes. I'm not big on the super scary parts of Halloween. Like that's just not me. I don't like it. But I did get some cute, like little haunted looking things, and I got from Target, like it looks like a haunted house. So I'm gonna make some stuff for that. I think it's gonna be really good in some lives coming up. Our hammer's done. Okay, do we want to see it? So I'm just waiting for my Glowforge to be done cooling down. It's almost done, it says. I always wait for it to be cool because I've noticed that if I open my Glowforge while it's in the cool down, the software stays frozen and I have to restart the software and restart the machine to do anything else. Okay. Check it out. When it comes to a career in public service, you nailed it. So super easy. You can see that start to finish on that project, it was really like 5 minutes. Like you would probably get it done. You could get this done in 5 minutes besides picking out the font, which always takes forever. But you can see, I mean, like we've only been live 20 minutes and part of that is like chatting. And we had this typed up and engraved. So super easy. I think I'm going to do a personal message from my team on this side, but I'm not going to do that live. But I think it looks really, really nice. So this is the larger framing hammer from Harbor Freight. I don't quite remember the price point on this one. I know before inflation, the smaller hammer that I use at Christmas time, not Christmas time, Father's Day, that one typically is like $5. That's why it was like such a good deal. Who knows what it costs now? But these are from Harbor Freight. So I'm sure you could find like on Amazon or something, hammers without the sticky, not the sticky part, the like message and everything. But I have found to get them locally, the just unmarked Harbor Freight ones are always the best for me. So this is just a framing hammer. So they're just bigger and it's got, I'm just taking a sticker off, got like these things on it, but super, super easy. I like it a lot. And I liked this font. Hopefully they like it. That's the one I picked. But anyway, do you guys have any questions before we go? I thought it would be fun and easy to do it. So I just want to jump on here. So this is actually a good question. Amelia asked, have you ever engraved on Johnson Plastics Plus Laserable Bible cover? If so, any suggestions on the setting? So I have not engraved the Bible cover specifically. However, I have engraved their leatherette many times. And so it's the same leatherette, just put into different things. So if you go back onto my channel, there is a video, I think I uploaded about 2 years ago. I'm engraving a journal, a leatherette journal. That is from Johnson Plastics Plus. So the settings that I do in there. Also, I've been adding cut settings to my website. I don't know if leatherette is on there yet, but if you follow me on Instagram, leatherette is definitely one of the settings that I have in my story highlight in there too. So you can check that out. When you do the Bible cover, I haven't gotten one personally yet, so I can't speak to like the setup, but you do want to make sure you have it flat. So whether you use pins or you put an actual like Bible in it and take the crumb tray out. So you take the crumb tray out and put a Bible in it to prop it up. Just make sure you have your focus right so that you don't ruin it that way. But the settings for leatherette is actually, it's not that high. Let me go through my Glowforge over here. I'm not going to share my screen just because I'm just trying to reference something. I'm just going through to find one of my jobs that I know I did on leather, so I can kind of verbally tell you what I did. Sorry, 1 second. I guess it's been a while since I've done leather. Let's just open this one. So let me look. I have been doing, so I have been doing my leather-ish journals, leatherette, at speed of 1,040 for precision power, and then about 270 lines per inch. So you don't need a lot of precision power, just really, really light. I do 40. But also, like, you do, want to emphasize this again and again. You do always want to do test cuts if you haven't done it before or if you haven't done it in a long time, because one of the indicators that your machine needs cleaning is your settings aren't working right. So please make sure you're testing before you do a whole Bible, because you want to make sure you're not going to ruin that piece because your settings may be off or your machine is not performing at its best and it could not engrave correctly. So that was a good question. Do you guys have any more before we go? I'm just going to sip my coffee real quick. And my hammer has some stickiness from the sticker, so I'm just going to go ahead and rinse it off when I'm done. And then we'll do the personal message on this side. I'm going to leave that. I will do that after we're done here. But hopefully a flash live. Hopefully you liked it, learned it. If you watch it on the replay, thanks for joining on the replay. If you guys are normally on my lives, you know that I typically have been trying to do Thursday evenings. Nick and I are traveling next weekend. We'll be going to Cincinnati. So depending on how my packing is going, I may be live next week. I may not. I try to schedule them before I go up, even if it's like an hour before. So definitely check out my Facebook and Instagram to see if I have one scheduled. They're always, not always, most of the time, they're 8 o'clock on Thursday. So hopefully I can see you then. I may not, like, honestly, it's 50-50 because I don't want to stress myself out. So we'll see how I'm doing that day. But if you're here now or if you're watching on the replay, I really appreciate you joining me. Hopefully this was informative, a good way to figure out how to put the hammer in the machine and engrave it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will catch you guys later. All right. Bye-bye. I forgot to get my video, so I'm just going to stall for a second and find it. Okay. Bye.